Troops, here we are again, another Eagle podcast, another amazing guest. Welcome to the show, Amy Mckenna. Amy, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
How are you doing? How's life treating you?
Yeah, it's good. Busy, but it's good.
Busy because you make yourself busy.
Of
How's your
course.
new how's your new academy going? How's the empire?
Yeah, everything's going well. So we've just opened our second training school in Sunderland City Centre. So really busy. Just now really focusing on kind of the last 6 months of the year, really what we're going to be doing, what we're going to be offering people and how we can take things to that next level. So yeah, busy time, lots of planning going on at the minute, as well as day-to-day stuff.
So, second academy.
Yeah.
And when you say we, is that, have you got a business partner or have you got mentors or who's the we?
Yeah, I've got a business partner. So we started the academy in September 2017. Myself and my friend Gemma, and really none of us are from a training background. None of us are from an educational background.
Right.
None of us are from a hair, beauty, well-being background. But we just work incredibly hard. You know, we come up with good ideas and, yeah, we just run with it.
So you're not from a hair and beauty background, so apart from being a woman, where does it come from? Where have you got where's the idea come from to get a second academy up and running?
To be honest, ideas just come to us and we just go from there. We originally started with a salon, and that was kind of like a one-stop shop for hair and well-being, hair, beauty, makeup kind of well-being services. And we started that just over 2 years ago in March 2017. And basically kind of we've just gone from there, just starting with a little salon to taking it to 2 training schools now. For me, hair and beauty, wellness, how you look is such a massive industry now. You know, it's massively on trend. People are conscious of what they look like. I think a lot of that comes out of social media. People are constantly getting things done to themselves. It was the right industry and we jumped in right at the right time. And I kind of saw where the industry was going. So we knew it was the right one to be in.
So you've got a salon. Have you still got the salon?
Yeah.
Where's your salon?
So I've got a salon and a training school in Seaham, and then we've just opened our second training school in Sunderland.
Brilliant. And sort of you touched on it there, and we had a bit of a laugh and joke off air about Love Island. Do you think programs like that for you must drive your business because social media celebrities are heavily involved in sort of promoting brands? What's your take on it? And have you ever had anyone sort of social media famous like ask you, "Oh, will you do this for us and I'll promote your brand," or anything like that?
So obviously programs like Love Island, they're massively driven by social media. Like you say, they're massively, they're paid to endorse brands and things like that. I mean, in terms of social media as a whole, I think, and obviously, Love Island's just come back on. The first thing I saw on social media last night was, oh my God, I need to get to the gym after seeing them girls in Love Island. Straight away, it's that type of thing that people are, they're going to kind of look at them people and think, I need to be like that. And I think social media now is very much, it's my social media. I follow a lot of fitness people. I follow a lot of people that are, taking protein shakes and looking good. And I'm constantly sending my friend, I see a workout on Instagram, I constantly slide it into her DMs and say, we need to do this next time we're at the gym. So I think it's changed a lot, and I think people are aware of that. And definitely programs like that are driving the industry forward, because we obviously want the next big thing, whatever that may be. In terms of, celebrities asking us to, and no, we haven't had that, unfortunately. No. Well, to be honest, I actually don't think I'd want that anyway, because I think, what kind of celebrity would you actually want promoting your brand? It's a difficult one, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of people from our region, and there's certainly a few people from up your neck of the woods who are sort of either have done Geordie Shore or there's a guy from Sunderland, I don't know if you know him, called Richie Howie. He has Team RH Fitness.
No, I don't think I do.
Check him out, because him and his partner Rachel, they've got a massive fitness brand, Team RH
Right.
Fitness. It's absolutely massive, and I'm not saying they're on the vanity side of it, but
Yeah.
he is like he has got a massive following, and I know he's from Sunderland.
Right.
But on that, like on the Love Island thing, like I'll admit it, I watch it. I don't mind it. I just think it's a bit of entertainment. But sort of what people don't see is those people have been selected through like a long process, and I think for a normal woman or a normal bloke who've got a normal 9 to 5 and normal life to deal with, some of those sort of like, I want to look like her or I want to look like him, I don't know how achievable it is. And I think, you know, we've moved away from like, everyone has got a different body. Do you know what I mean? Everyone's got a different body shape. And instead of like trying to think, I want to be a thinner me, I think a happier me would be more achievable. But Love Island is simple, isn't it? It's good looking people at the end of the day trying to get famous.
Yeah, of course.
And out with that, you know, it is what it is. So you've had no one sort of come to you, but you're right in what you say. Who do you say? Oh yeah, let's sing you the brand.
I personally don't really want, to be honest. You know, my business partner has a very close relationship with Jermaine Defoe, and actually he was going to come to our launch event. But then I thought, well, do I want our launch event to be about that celebrity, or do I want it to be about what we've achieved? And actually, it's about what we've achieved, and I'd rather get there on our own and be recognised for what we've done and for what we're about to do, rather than because some celebrities endorse us. Because let's be fair, typically what I do in terms of the training side of things, that celebrity is not going to be endorsing that because they've trained with us. They're going to be endorsing it because they're being paid to do that, and that's not a personal recommendation.
That's a brilliant mindset, that, because there's so many people. That's sort of the long game mindset, isn't it? There's so many people now who are thinking, what's going to get me there in the shortest period of time? Where what you've just said there is, you're like, we've built it ourselves, and we're going to build it ourselves.
Yeah.
No, that's the best way to do it. So, how do you split your time between all of this then? Like, do you still work? Do you work? Are you purely managing, or do you actually work and teach as well? Like, what's your skill set?
So I don't teach, to be honest. No, it's not something that I particularly want to do. I'm not, like I said, from an educational background. I haven't got a vast array of qualifications. I don't have qualifications in the hair and beauty industry. My background is, and I was actually worked for the NHS for 10 years. I left as a project manager. So I managed individual projects. You know, I got people to access health and wellbeing projects. I managed 60 volunteers. So my background is very different, and my skill set, I would say, is taking the academy to where we are today in such a short space of time. And I mean, we originally started the academy with one tutor. Right. And we did around about 6 courses a month. Without Sunderland, we now have, so not taking that into account, we have around about 14 tutors now and about 9 courses a week. So we've grew significantly, and that's kind of been over the last 16 months, I would say. So a lot of my work is coordinating kind of staff rotas. You know, I've got an administrator who I manage, you know, giving her workload, marketing, you know, getting out there and, you know, letting people know what we do. I meet with a lot of people around potential contracts and funding. I'm constantly thinking of new ways that we can take the academy to that next level. So a lot of that involves meeting with people, you know, sitting down, thinking about ideas and stuff. So I don't do any delivery. So in terms of what I do, I get to manage my own time, which is great. But sometimes that can mean that I can sit on my laptop for 16 hours. But then sometimes I don't work at all, so it is good.
No, it's brilliant. It sounds like you're really full on with it. On the advertising side, where do you get your contacts from? Are you LinkedIn? Are you Facebook, website? Are you literally going around knocking on doors? How do you do it?
So we basically, all of our business at the moment comes through Facebook, literally all of it. So we're actually getting a new website built at the moment. Brilliant. And we're getting a full all singing, all dancing e-commerce website. And we're massively missing a market by not having that in place. And we understand and we recognise that. But, you know, we've had a lot going on, and that's getting built now. it's with the website designers, and we're hopefully going to meet with them over the next week. So we solely get bookings through Facebook. So it's great in one respect to see how far we've come and how much we get through Facebook. But it's time that we took that to that next level. A lot of word of mouth as well. So we do get word of mouth, but generally it all comes through Facebook.
On that sort of side with Facebook, you're right in what you say there, and people in business need to realise this. I don't take people seriously who don't have a website.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Like, what are you doing? Do you know what I mean? Do you want me to take you seriously? Then, you know, and a good website with search engine optimization, where someone goes and Googles like, I want a Love Island haircut, bosh, and because you've wrote a blog post about Love Island, and that's automatically it's into your website.
Of course,
and there's so many people out there who sort of say, "Oh, I've got my own business," and I'll say, "Oh, okay. Do you have a website?" "Oh, no, I'm only on Facebook." And I may be wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. I just instantly dismiss them because you're not in the game, in my eyes.
Of course. And I think for a lot of people, though, it's the cost as well. I mean, we have had a website, and it has been basically just an informative website where you couldn't do anything. It told you what we do, and that was basically it. And, you know, that cost us and me a couple of £100.
Yeah.
When you're new to a business, let's be fair, when you know nothing about training, when you know nothing about the industry, you know, it's a risk, isn't it? So we had this kind of this informative website. But however, we need that e-commerce now, and you've gone from a couple of £100 website to £2,500 website, and that's the difference. And I think that's what it comes down to, is whether people, for a lot of it, it's probably the investment that people need to make to get that. But 100% agree. Like, we do well considering we don't have a Facebook, we don't have a website, and I can only imagine that once we get that up and running, it's going to, you know, grow significantly more.
Oh, you'll kill it, and you're right in what you say, and like every single business person who I've had come on this podcast, like, says exactly sort of the same stuff as what we're saying here. That when someone says to me, "I can't afford a website," and I say to them, "How many times a month do you go out drinking?" And they'll say, "Oh, well, like 4 times a week." I'm like 4 times a month. I'm like, so there's like what, 400 quid? You can get a website for 400 quid.
Yeah.
Like, you could do something. It's like, how bad do you want it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
of course.
You put something on the other day. It was really good. It was about like how much you'd spend money on this, and you want to spend money on that. And you know, you're absolutely right. People will say things like, "Oh, I haven't got time to go to the gym," but you've got 60 minutes to watch Netflix, and you're spot on. You know, there's a lot of people out there.
It's about your priorities, isn't it? And
yeah, absolutely.
It's like you say, it's that affordability factor as well. And I guess sometimes, you know, do you spend a couple of £100 to in a couple of months' time have to spend a lot more? It's one of those things, but we recognise that, and we're excited to get our website up and running, and, you know, we're pulling together lots of ideas at the minute.
Who's doing your website? Like, give them a shout out where, you know.
So they're called Purple Digital, and they're from Newcastle. They built the Bradley Lowry Foundation website. Cool. So my business partner Gemma, she wanted to work with them because she's obviously worked with them for that. So. They've sent us some stuff over. It's just now kind of putting all the context in, which, when you can imagine, when we've got a lot of courses, a lot of different prices, it's a lot of content we've got to pull together. We've just had a lot of professional photos taken as well, because we want our real own photos. We don't want like internet photos.
No, it's important that it's your own stuff. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of people these days sort of, again, fake it till you make it, stealing people's photos, and you know, it's end of the day, you will get caught out. Do you know what I mean? It is simple as that. In a world where authenticity is sort of took a little bit of a slide to left, to some people it does. To me, like, it means the world to me. And it's good that you're saying that. So on your website, how long do you think have they give you a time? You know, 8 weeks, 12 weeks, 4 weeks? What
I think probably a couple more weeks, to be honest. I think just probably 2-3 more weeks, and we should have it ready. I've had images of it. I've had what it looks like and everything. It's just now a case of putting all the content in it, and us finalising the content.
And are they going to put you some good quality backlinks in there? Do you know? Because I'm in the same boat as you. I got a website which was sort of got me going. Do you know what I mean? Which sort of got me out there, and now I've like, I need a better website. And now that I'm in a financial place to go and do that, it's so important on backlinks that you get good quality backlinks. So for example, I might embarrass myself here on my hair and beauty sort of knowledge, but say if like Pantene did a backlink to your website, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If they recognize something that you did for them and then they put a link to your website, like
that's good.
Your traffic would just go like through the, do you know what I mean? It would just go through the roof. And that's the difference with like a good quality backlink. But I'm sure if you're spending that sort of money,
I was going to say they've sent me kind of a big quote and everything, and I've got it all written down, and I know they're giving us all the SEO and stuff like that. So I imagine for that kind of money that it's going to be quite good.
And as well, you know, it's important that you're, from a marketing, the business point of view, that it's your website that drives your business, not your social media, because social media can just be shut down like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, you have a falling out with someone, you know, we all have bad days, and someone reports your Facebook page, and just like that, you're on a ban. And you can't really contact Facebook and say, well, it's, do you know what I mean? It's this, that, and t'other. And then you're just in the dark, and it's like, well, but if you've got a good website, your website, you know, your traffic comes through your website, not through your social media. You know, you own your website.
Yeah, of course.
And that's it. That's the most important thing. On social media, you are in a very, very, what I'd like to say, like a shootout sort of business where, you know, someone gets a hair done or makeup or whatever, and they don't quite like it. They can just go to social media straight away, can't they, and just start firing shells.
That's
how do you deal with
and
that?
unfortunately
that very. No.
I mean, we've had it the odd. Sorry.
No, go on. Shoot.
We've had it the odd time. Obviously, you know, it's not great when you get that kind of. Obviously, you can't always. You can't obviously. You know, you're going to get it now and again. But to be honest, I just always contact them direct straight away. Contact them direct and pick up the phone. That's exactly what I do. You know, I don't think issues like that should be aired on Facebook. I think generally it's a retaliation for somebody to try and get a reaction. So when it has happened in the past, I mean, you're talking few and far between, not even probably on one hand. I've picked up the phone. And I think that's the best way to do. Pick up the phone, have that conversation with someone by a person. I think as well, it gets you can obviously put across what you need to put across in that situation. Whereas sometimes you don't want to do that in a message, because actually, if, for example, whatever they're complaining about has been taken out of context or whatever, or really they haven't got a right to complain, then actually you don't want to say that via a message, because then they can, you know, things can get screenshot and stuff like that. You don't ever want to put yourself in that position.
No, that's a very valid point, and that's a great business point for anyone really, especially in the world of now social media and shock and awe. You know, people can just bosh like that, write a bad review about you, and you know, you can have 1,000 good reviews, and if you've got one that says one star, I guarantee you, and it's the way we're wired as human beings, people are like, oh, what's going on down here, down to 1 star? Let's have a quick look at this.
Of course.
And, you know.
Of course. I mean, I'm just looking. I'm on looking for a holiday at the minute, and for myself and Gemma, because we've been so busy, we need a break. Yeah. And she screenshot me 2 reviews from the hotel that we're looking at from May. One's a 1 star, one's a 5 star, and they're completely different. And they're both from May 2019. And it's like, well, you've gone from one end of the spectrum to the other.
You know, you're totally right. We went to Mexico. There's a good place to go if you've not been to Mexico. That was awesome.
Yeah.
And we went there, and the hotel where we stayed was amazing, and they had like the greatest selection of breakfasts on. And I remember like just walking through breakfast in the morning, and we're like, wow. And I remember someone saying to me, breakfast is not much copping here, is it? And I was like, I'd love to see what your breakfast is on the morning, because there's almost like 10 choices here. Like, let's be honest. Most people's breakfast is a bowl of porridge or some cornflakes.
I know.
Unfortunately, people like to whinge, don't they? Do you know what I mean?
They do. And generally, it tends to be people, you know, write a review when they want to whinge, because they like say they want a reaction from you. But no, it is crazy. But yeah, generally we do well. To be fair, it's not happened very often.
So you have your academy. Where do you get your people from? How do they come in and see you? Do they send you CVs? are you in touch with colleges, university? What's the process? Because I know nothing about it.
We don't deal with colleges and things like that because we're technically a competitor for them.
Right.
And I've actually pinched some of their staff.
Nice.
So, that doesn't happen. In terms of students enrolling, we have a mix in terms of the academy. So we have commercial courses where people will just come and pay for short courses. Right. So they'll pay out their own money. It's a private course. They just get in touch with us, like generally via social media.
Yeah.
And they want to book a course. But we do work with some larger kind of government bodies where we draw down funding. So if people are unemployed, we can sometimes offer them training courses for free. So whenever we put anything out like that, like a free training course, we're just inundated. So generally we have a mix of about 2-3 commercial courses a week, and we have about 6 funded courses a week.
Wow. And so are most of the people coming in, obviously they want to be, is it mainly self-employed, or are they trying to get the qualifications and then go and work for someone else, or what's the
a bit of both, really? I mean, in this industry now, you won't find very often that you get employed. When you work in kind of a hair and beauty salon, that type of setting, what you'll find is people don't want to employ people, because if they don't have bums on seats, so to speak, then they're actually, there's not much else you can be doing. So really, if you're paying rent on a facility, you want somebody who's renting off you, so you're like subletting to cover your rent basically, and that's generally what places will do. So to go into employment doesn't generally happen now from this kind of industry. So people will generally become self-employed. We get a mix of all kinds of people. We get people who are we've got one student who has been in social work for 20 plus years, wants to change, doesn't want to kind of do that for the rest of her life. I work with like nurses who want to change in career, people that worked in course. It just completely varies. So you get people that want to change in career, so want to do kind of short, fast track courses to start building up around their work. We get people who are unemployed and see it as an option to get self-employment. And we get people who are already in salons or already in the industry that want to upskill, because for a lot of the time people might have been in the industry for 15-20 years and might not have done the current, like what's on trend at the moment, so they want to upskill. Or it could be like a hairdresser might want to do some beauty qualifications because they want to add some more to the portfolio, because if they're not busy with the hair, they can be offering other things. So it just varies really. We get kind of all across the spectrum, and we get all ages as well. We've been getting requests from like 16 right up until we've got people in their 50s. That's
really good. And I've noticed there's like a change in male barbering as well. Do you do anything? Do anything with that?
We do male barbering, yes. We had male barbering. We have it on a Monday and a Tuesday night.
The guy where I go, he's struggling to recruit male barbers at the moment, so there might be a tie in here. But he was saying that he's had to he's only a young lad, like he's only the same. I think Jason's a little bit younger than me, but he's like, we've gone from doing short back and sides to literally now doing eyebrows, nose, shave,
faded,
and washing people's hair. And he's like, it's gone totally different now. And he said the new generation of barber needs to be able to do more than just do short back and sides.
Yeah, of course.
Male pampering or whatever now has moved on. And he's like,
of course it has.
Go back.
And I think men are actually becoming, in some respects, more vainer than women. And I mean, it's funny because in my last relationship, my ex-boyfriend, he used to go to the hairdressers every single week. Every week, and it was £16 a time, and there was never any appointments. He just had to sit and wait in this really, really popular barbers, and he could be there for 2 hours waiting for an appointment, and it would go every week £16, and I was like, get nothing off. But for him it was like, well, I get my hair washed and I get like, it feels nice, and etc. And I was just like, that's insane. But we're definitely finding that I think men are becoming a lot more vain. 100%. But yeah, we do barbering, and
awesome.
All the students that are on the barbering course, because the qualification doesn't cover wet shave or faded or the grooming in terms of the waxing and the nose and stuff, they're asking for that as well, because they recognise that people are asking for it. So
Jason, when I spoke to him about it, he says that I don't know if it's the same up in Sunderland, but we had a lot of like all of a sudden there's like 1,000 Turkish barbers opened.
Yeah,
and because it's part of their culture to do shaves.
Yeah.
That all of a sudden everyone was doing shaves, and then everyone was doing eyebrows, and then Jason was like, to keep up with them, I've had to go that way. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly, so and that's it. The industry's just grown. Yeah, the industry's grown all the time, and there's going to be new things constantly. It's funny because, like, say, we as soon as like the next big thing comes out, we try and jump on it straight away. So, obviously, have you heard of henna? You know, henna, where you go on holiday and in Spain, and you've got the women giving you henna tattoos and stuff like that.
Right.
Well, now henna brows came out at the end of last year.
Right.
So it's the same product, but actually you're putting it on your eyebrows, and it's staining your eyebrows and it's staining your skin. Wow. So as soon as we heard about henna brows, we were like, right, we need to get trained in this, and we need to offer the training. So that's a current thing at the moment. So things are constantly developing. You know, there's dermaplaning, which is where you're getting the blade to the face at the moment, which takes off all your dead skin. That's really popular at the moment because skincare, skin treatments are, you know, are massive again, because you want to, you want to look good. So we're constantly looking at what's coming out, and trends are changing all the time, and trends are coming up.
Where's the boundary between like a genuine medical procedure and beauty? Is there a boundary? Do you know what I mean? Like what? Because it seems to me like one is definitely leaning into the other. Like, and obviously I don't know anywhere near as much as you do on it, but putting I've seen stuff like chemical peels and stuff like that, and I've read horror stories of people doing it wrong and people getting bad burns and stuff, and you know that must be quite a tricky thing to sort of teach, because you know if you do burn someone,
obviously some of those things are aesthetic, so some of them things that you would have to be a qualified nurse. So it's about knowing kind of what procedure you can do within your limitations, and things like dermaplaning, where it's a blade to the face. You know, we do have to have a prerequisite for that.
Right.
So it's not a case of, you know, Joe Bloggs comes in off the streets and says, I want to do a dermaplaning course. It's about, right, what is your background? You know, can you get insurance for this? That's a really important thing. You know, what is your prior skills, and if you haven't got them, then is it something we can provide? But then you have to do this. So yeah, it is obviously, there is a lot of things, and things are becoming more governed. Things like teeth whitening, you can't get teeth whitening done now if it's not by a dentist, which is only right.
I was just going to say this to you. I've seen a few people, but I'll use McGregor as an example. He wears these things that he sort of bites down on, and it like glows, and it makes his teeth go white. I have no idea what they are, but if he's ever doing an Instagram video or something like that, he'll have one in, and then obviously he's smart. He's a smart man, and he'll have a link to it. And I'm like, it's something to do with like teeth whitening. But again, what you were saying there is like teeth whitening. Like I would be like, oh, I'm not going to go see Jason to go and get my teeth whitened. I'll be like, I'm going to go see the dentist.
Yeah, and that's it now. I mean. Yeah, and that's it now, and that type of thing, you've got to go to a dentist now, which is only right.
Cool.
You can't get your teeth bleached off anybody else other than a dentist. And if you can, then it's probably illegal. Yeah. So
I've just got images of these like middle-aged housewives doing illegal teeth whitening in the back of the.
There will be people still doing it. There will be, because back in the day, people paid thousands of pounds for this treatment, this training to be able to do that. But then obviously the laws changed, and I think they changed about 2 years ago. But I know there definitely is some people still out there who are still using the equipment and things that they got trained in, but they're not dentists. But you've got to be careful, and that's one thing that I'm really. You know, I want to make sure that we're sticking to everything, because I don't want somebody going away, having an accident and coming back onto us saying, well, you trained me and you didn't tell me that I couldn't do this. So you've got to be careful when it comes to stuff like this.
And Sunderland is seen as like a traditional sort of northern working class city. How is it evolving in that sort of side, from like the male grooming side, and sort of from the beauty side? Are you seeing a lot of different trends? Because traditionally, you know, obviously it's a super working class city.
Yeah.
And I know loads of lads from like Pennywell and Hendon and all that.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have them down as like eyebrow waxes and nose fillings. Do you know what I mean? But it obviously moving on, isn't it?
It is moving on, and I think obviously I mean, depending, you know, a lot of people don't live in Sunderland. They might work there, or vice versa, sort of thing. I think, like, say, as a whole, like, we get models in for the students on a Monday. We obviously see them not in Sunderland at the moment, but we get models in for the students, and they've always got men coming in to get treatments done.
Yeah.
Sorry, too. So yeah, I think it's just the way things are evolving, and I definitely can see more and more people. I watch Instagram. To be honest, actually, it's funny because I actually sat watching an Instagram person, a barber in Newcastle, and he's got a full Instagram page, and I was actually sat watching him do some videos on Instagram, and I actually found it quite therapeutic.
Yeah. Anthony, do you know who Anthony Hutton is?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he's got a barbershop here in Dalton.
Right.
And he's got he opened a barbershop, but it's a bar on a night time. So when the lads go to get the haircuts, it's like a bar and barbers. And he's doing really well. Do you know what I mean? He's doing really well, and, you know, all the best to the lad. He's got a good business, and it's always busy.
I think when it comes to a business, you've got to be different, and there's a lot of training academies out there, and I honestly think the main thing about being in business is being different, because you've got to stand out, and straight away he stands out for what he's doing. Yeah. So I know people in this industry. It's funny because when we started the training academy, I knew of kind of 2 other training academies in the northeast, and now I know of about 6 in Sunderland. So they're popping up all the time because people can see where the industry's going. But it's about being different, and that's one thing that we try to do. So I'm quite creative, and I think that's why we've got to where we are today, because I'll always think of new ideas, and I'll think of those new ideas and I'll run with them, because I know that it will set us apart from other training schools.
You're totally right. Every business, it doesn't matter what you're selling, you have to have your USP. You've got to have, do you know what I mean?
Of course you do, yeah.
And you can't be afraid about... you will never be liked by everyone, and nor should you want to be. No. You know what I mean? You'd be liked by who you're liked by. And, you know, that'll be your strength at the end of the day. But, no, it's interesting. And there's in Dalton, we have a lot of coffee shops, and we have a lot of barbers, so you can have a lot of cafe, and you can get your hair cut in lots of different places. So obviously, with the evolving of the high street and the changing dynamic of the high street, certainly one industry that's not suffering is barbers and salons, because we've all got hair, we've all got faces, and everyone wants to spend money on them. So you're right. You know, you've moved into an absolute winning category. You know, tomorrow people ain't going to stop going and getting their haircut. People might stop going out drinking, or they might not buy as many clothes. But, you know, when people need a haircut, they're like, I'm off. Yeah,
and these things become an addiction as well. When people get their nails done, when people get their eyelashes done, it becomes, you know, you feel worse for not having it, for something that you've had for so long. If you used to getting your nails done every 2 weeks, or you get your eyelashes done, then you don't feel as good when you don't have them done. So that's why people keep going back, because they want to feel good. And again, a lot of it comes out on social media, because actually you want to feel good. You know, what do you look like on social media, and everything else that comes with that.
Yeah, it's a good point. So let's move on to Make or Break. I had the pleasure of being a part of Make or Break at the weekend just gone. Now, you did the one before the one I got involved with. Can't give too many secrets away, because Tom Cockrell, he's like, you know, don't give it all away. But how did you feel going into Make or Break, and what made you go on it? Because obviously you are a driven woman, and you've got all this, you know, people would look at you and say, well, why would she need Make or Break? So what sort of made you think, I'm doing that course? What was it that sold it for you?
Well, SAS Who Dares Wins was on at the time, so that obviously because, you know, that's always something that I've thought looked quite good, although I think it looks horrifically hard. I mean, for me, I've always been about pushing myself out of my comfort zone. I always want to do things that's going to make me a better version of myself. And I think I'd actually become in a bit of a lull towards the end of towards the end of 2018, and I felt myself slipping into a mindset where I'd actually become quite socially isolated. I didn't
wow.
really want to do anything. I didn't even go to my Christmas party because I didn't want to go. I didn't want to talk to people.
Wow.
And I'd actually become in quite a negative mindset. And I was struggling to get myself out of that. So that was one of the reasons why I did go, to try and obviously, you know, get myself out of where I'd become.
Yeah.
But also, like I say, I want to do things that challenge me. So obviously that weekend was very physically and mentally challenging. I did a fire walk in April.
Yeah.
You know,
you said you were a little bit disappointed with that.
Yeah, that wasn't that good actually, unfortunately. I wanted, people were like, why did you want to have burnt feet? And I was like, well, I wanted to feel like I was going to have burnt feet, so I was scared to do it. But no, I didn't. So I'm always looking for new things. I've done a lot of traveling on my own. Last year I went to Bali for a month. I went to Central America for a month on my own. So I like to put myself in positions where I'm going to grow as a person. And I figured that would be a weekend that would do that.
Amazing. We definitely took it to the next level this weekend. You'd have definitely thought you won Who Dares Wins.
I don't know, like it was freezing in February, absolutely freezing. When we had to go in the water, oh my God. It was, to be honest, the weekend was hard. It was, I found it painfully hard at times, to be honest.
He's created an absolute fantastic course, and obviously he keeps on adding new elements to it. Like,
yeah, of course.
I only wasn't on that because I think it clashed with something else that I was doing. Oh no, I was in the Atlas Mountains. I was in Morocco. That's where I was. So
right.
I couldn't do it for that reason. But like, I am fully on board with it now, and I can see this week from the benefit from the other women that have been on it. And the sort of feedback that I've been getting personally, like messages that they've sent me personally, and then which I've seen them post in the group page. And I'll tell you now, none of them liked me within the first like hour of meeting me because we just went down accountability street. Do you know what I mean? And it is true. You will never improve in a comfortable situation. Do you know what I mean? You've got to be pushed, and you've got to be doing things where you think this is like verging on the edge of madness. But Who Dares Wins, that program and programs like that have certainly whipped up a feeling within the UK where people do want to sort of think, oh, I wonder where the limit is, and
where I can push myself to. I think you're going to get two different types of people. So you're going to get the type of person that wants to do it and, you know, will try, and then you're going to get someone that will never ever ever even dream about it. I mean, I came back from that weekend and I told a couple of my friends, and I told them, if I knew they were going to do it, I wouldn't have told them what was involved, because then they would never pay to do it. But like, when I told them, because I knew they'd never do it, and they were just like, I can't believe you did that. I don't know why on earth you would ever put yourself through that. So you're always going to get that two different type of people, but they're also the type of person that are set in their ways. They enjoy their job. They're happy with where they're at. They're not bothered about growing, and that's the difference. So
is this a fair assumption? Some people are happy with mediocrity. Some people are happy.
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
Because sometimes I can be mega harsh, and I say things, and people are like, "Oh, that's harsh," but because like I don't really have a harsh meter. Like, I never really like, no, I just say it, and if it sort of upsets people, and like, it's like, well, it's on you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've been in some absolutely mental situations where it's like, well, wow, but. Yeah, I think you're right there, and it's not a knock on people. Some people are just happy with being average.
Oh, of course they are, and there's nothing wrong with that. And some people, like you say, they don't want to go for promotions in their job. They're happy with where they're at, and you know, they don't want to risk things, and they don't want to try. I've got friends that don't want to try new things. Like, they don't like. I went to an aerial class the other week where you know, you're in the hoops in the air and you spin around and stuff. Yeah. And I was just like, somebody told me about it, and I was like, that sounds great, I'm going to go. And I booked it there and then. And some of my friends were like, Amy, are you absolutely mad? You just do anything. I'm like, well, why not? But
I'm glad you. Yeah. Funny. No, it's good. It's that thing, isn't it, between chiefs and Indians? Do you know what I mean? Like, some people just design, you know, just to soldier through life, and then there's people who like, right, I need to be doing this, and I need to be doing that, and I need to be taking big risks.
Yeah.
And is there anyone who you listen to podcast wise, or anyone like a business mentor, or I know Victoria. I know you and Victoria are good friends, and she's a very inspirational person.
Yeah, she is. She's great. I like to listen to Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins is great. Yeah. I like to listen to Gabrielle Bernstein. I listen to. I don't really like audio books, to be honest. I prefer to just read a book.
Right, old school. I like it.
Yeah, I don't like audio books. I just can't seem to. I can't seem to engage in them. I just kind of, my mind goes somewhere else.
Yeah.
But no, just kind of, I kind of look on YouTube a lot. I don't generally listen to podcasts, to be honest.
Yeah.
Well, not so much I don't listen to them. I just go on YouTube. I just generally go on YouTube and look for something on there. Or if I've got a particular subject that I want to listen to, I'll just Google the subject.
No, that's fair enough. So away from business and away from what do you do fitness wise, like training, enjoyment? What other things do you do? Are you a CrossFitter? Do you enjoy running?
So I go to a CrossFit gym.
Right.
So I do CrossFit. I train minimum 5 times a week, but preferably about 6 times a week I would train. Last week I did train every day. Actually, I was pretty exhausted by the end of the week. So I do, fitness is kind of like a way of life for me. It's not really it's something that I have to embed in my life. So generally what I'll do at the start of the week is I'll look at what the workouts are for the week and I'll plan my diary around going to the gym. I'm quite lucky in that, the fact that obviously because I do work for myself and because I do a lot of the stuff that I do in terms of my job, I can actually do it from home. So what I'll generally do is I prefer to train on the morning. I prefer to do like a 9:15, 10 o'clock class because it gets to kind of like 4 or 5 and I start to lose my motivation and stuff. But yeah, training's a way of life for me. If I don't go to the gym, I will argue with myself and then I will be angry with myself all day. So it's easier to just go. So yeah, I do like to train a lot. Don't really go out socialising very much anymore. I feel like life just kind of takes over and, you know, hangovers get worse as you get older. So yeah, I don't really go out that much anymore. Holidays, I love a holiday. So last year I went away 4 or 5 times last year, but 2 of them for a month at a time. Awesome. So yeah, holidays are a big thing for me. I do like to get away. Trips, I like to try new places and stuff. Sure. But yeah, and just hanging out with my friends, going for walks and stuff. Obviously I've got a little dog, so I take her out. And I'm currently trying to do 100k a week steps. So that's my goal at the minute.
100k a week?
Yeah, so about 15-ish a day, 1,000.
Yeah.
So
is
that's
that
what
on
I'm
a
trying to
Fitbit? Is it Fitbit or Garmin?
Apple Watch.
Right. Well, here's a date for your diary. 14th of September, 100,000 steps in one day.
That's
it is a challenge for you.
I know. Tom's trying to get me to do that.
Challenge accepted. Well done. It's the most barbaric day of your life, I'll tell you that much. Now I've done it 3 times. It's good for a giggle. Right, we've absolutely tore through this, so we're going to sort of start to wrap it up a little bit. And we're going to end the show with what I like to call the 5 whats. So let's fire straight into them. So number 1, what's the greatest advice you've been given?
For me, in terms of business, residual income. So looking at I've set my business up to a point where I earn residual income. So I'm quite lucky in, obviously I know Victoria through having an Arbonne business. I've got an Arbonne business as well.
Okay.
And what I basically learned through that is about being able to, the beauty of being paid when you're not actually working. And I've set my academy up so that I earn residual income. So actually, when I take a month off, I still get paid. It's funny because I met with someone earlier and she said, oh, what do you do about sick pay and what do you do about holiday pay? And I said, well, to be honest, I don't need it because I've got residual income now. Because actually I still, a lot of the things that I do, I can do from home and I can set things up for months in advance. So I can effectively actually then take some time off and still get paid. And I think that's so important because you don't know what's around the corner and you might not be able to work. You know, life's about having some freedom, and at the end of the day, you know, I don't want to be restricted to a 9-to-5 job. I don't want to be restricted in what I do with my time. I want to go to the gym when I want to go to the gym. I want to go and see my friends when I want to go and see my friends. It's funny, we had a wedding last year and one of my friend's partners couldn't be there because he couldn't get the day off work. And I was like, oh, I didn't even think about that because it was a Friday. And it doesn't, that kind of thing doesn't even cross my mind now because I just do what I want. So yeah, setting a business up so you can effectively get paid when you don't work.
That's smart, that. And anyone who's listening to that, they should definitely write that down and take note of it. Second, what's on your bucket list?
Oh God, my bucket list is mainly about travel, really. Just I want to see so
Right.
much more of the world. I absolutely love to travel. Like I just want to go to new places. Um, I'm living with my parents at the moment because I sold my house,
Right. Cool.
and haven't found a house. So I need to. On my bucket list is to get my dream home. I haven't
Wow.
decided what that looks like yet, but yeah, you know, that's what I'm kind of working towards. But just doing things that I want to do, being able to achieve what I want to achieve in terms of business. You know, probably, or I want to franchise the academy. That's on
Right.
there. So that's
Cool.
one thing that I'll probably look at within the next 2 years is to franchise that out as well. So, but a lot more travel.
Fair enough. There's nothing wrong with that. Oh, this is always a good one. What's your toughest day?
It, do you mean so in relation to
So
life or to business
just
or?
something that's really ground you down. Do you know what I mean? Something where you're almost at the edge where it was like, I'll never forget the 14th of February 2014. Do you know what I mean? Like one of them days that really
Yeah,
stick in your mind where you think, I don't ever want to see that day again.
I mean, I think it's, I mean, that's a hard one, really. I think for me, when a lot of my mindset changed was when Gemma's son Bradley passed away.
Right.
And I can remember the moment
Mm,
completely. Like, I was about
yeah,
to
yeah,
walk out the door to go to a meeting. I got the text from Gemma. Obviously, this was, you know,
yeah, yeah.
10 minutes after Bradley passed away or whatever. Um, and just that process in
Mm,
itself, um, we were actually meant to be going away for Gemma's birthday about, I think it was a week after Bradley first went into hospital without us even knowing what was wrong with him at this point. And it's funny because her life changed significantly from that day.
yeah,
And I remember her going into hospital. I remember texting me saying Carl was at the football match and they thought Bradley's stomach was twisted. And then next thing I know, I get some message to say he has a tumour. And it's just, going into hospital and seeing Gemma and seeing Bradley and everything. You know, Gemma at that time would have been the same age as what I am now. And her life changed significantly, and
yeah,
she spent months and months and months of her life in hospital for years ongoing.
yeah,
And it's when Bradley did pass away at 6 years old, it kind of made me realise then that you do not know what is around the corner, whether
no,
that
no,
is for you or for somebody in your life. And I think just that process in itself, I'll always remember that
yeah,
time. And yeah, I took a lot away from that in the fact that obviously Bradley was here for a purpose,
yeah.
but actually it made me realise that life's too short, and I just think you just don't know what's around the corner. I think when something like that happens to you so closely, then you do realise.
You're right there. When you said that he was here for a purpose, like I think everyone, I'm certainly aware of that illness now. Do you know what I mean? Like I didn't know anything about it before
Yeah,
Bradley, but the sheer amount of um, outpouring of support,
yeah,
and it certainly has definitely brought it to the light now, and
of
um,
course.
it's a tragedy, and I think I told you when I spoke on the phone, we had
Mm,
a guy at the gym where I train. His son passed away
yeah,
on Christmas Eve of all days,
yeah,
and I didn't even really know do you know what I mean? But
yeah,
I was like, that Christmas day, like that Christmas whole period for me, I was just
yeah,
like thinking to myself, I've got everything. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, of course, of course.
it,
It is
it's
those
such a
types of
humbling process.
it is, and those types of things hit home. I mean, I remember the first Christmas. Brad passed away in the July, and I
Mm,
remember that first Christmas, and I cried for the full Christmas, Christmas Eve, Boxing Day,
mm,
Christmas Day, just thinking about what they were going through and everything else. And we need to be grateful for what we've got, and I think those types of, unfortunately, it takes those types of situations to make us realise that. But yeah, that kind of process and that day will always stick in my head forever.
yeah. Yeah, that's definitely one to remember.
Hmm.
Moving on to a happier moment. What's been the happiest day? Either something you've achieved personally, or maybe someone who you've mentored and then has really grown on and gone on. Do you know what I mean? There's very different,
That's hard. That I think that's probably harder, to be honest. I
right?
think my problem is, and I don't. It's funny because I don't often sit back and think about what we've achieved because I'm too busy always thinking about the next step.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm always thinking about what's next and things like. I mean, again, to be honest, I should be more grateful, to be fair, for what I have achieved. But I don't. I just constantly think about what next. I honestly don't know. That's the answer. I don't. I can't think of a significant event or anything really for me. I don't know. To be honest, maybe I haven't had it yet. Maybe I haven't had it yet, and maybe there'll be a point. I would hope that in my journey that I sit back and think, wow, like, do you know what I mean? But
yeah, no, that's a fair point. If you haven't had it, you haven't had it.
Yeah.
A lot of people who come on the show obviously have children, and obviously that's the ghost in my room. That's the default answer. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's fair enough. Moving on to the last one.
Yeah.
What's next? What's next for the Empire?
Who knows? I mean, probably a third academy at some point. Need to just decide where. I do want to franchise the academy. Just grow even further and grow more to the point where I have more time freedom.
Mint.
More staff.
That's brilliant. Would you have any? Well, you don't strike me as a tribal sort of girl, so you'd have no drama in moving into Newcastle.
It's for well. Do you know the only reason why I wouldn't? Because I don't like driving up there. To be honest, I'd probably come south of the patch. I've got a niece in Leeds. I would like, and so I've got obviously a sister-in-law and stuff there, and she's quite keen to get involved at some point, and you know maybe move further down the patch because I'm not a city girl. I like the quiet life. I like the nice countrysides, and I like where we are. So I like the coast and stuff. And Newcastle is
yeah, you've got a nice coast up there, and I've done the coastal route from Sunderland down to Hartlepool. It's nice, and obviously where you're from there seems not a bad little spot, is it? And
no,
where the Tommy is on the coast.
Yeah, it's lovely there.
Yeah, there's plenty of photos of that. Brilliant, Amy. Where can people find yourself in your academy, and give yourselves a big shout out on your social media links?
So we are Bella Marie Training Academy. So you can literally find us Bella Marie Training Academy on Instagram, on Facebook. Our new website will be bellamarietраiningacademy.co.uk. And obviously I'm on Instagram as well, and I'm Amy Mckenna 18.
Brilliant. Ladies and gentlemen, that's been an insightful 50 minutes with Amy. I hope you've taken a lot away, and if you haven't, then you need to re-listen to it because she dropped some absolute truth bombs there. Some proper power plays on how to get on in business. Amy, I thank you very much for your time.
No problem at all. Thank you for having me.
I'll send you the links. Okay.
Right, fabulous. Thank you very much.
Adios. Good night.
Goodbye.